All right, Scott, I've been looking at your form for a little bit. I've definitely got some tips on how you can help out, how you can throw better. I've got tips to help you out on how you can throw better. I can't talk tonight, it's weird. Anyway, you've got a really solid pull. Like, you have none of the beginner mistakes that I see, and so that means you're just a couple of alterations away from really throwing far. I'm actually surprised you said you only throw 350. I would guess you throw much farther than that, just based on how much like spin you have and how much you're not rounding and everything. You've got a really solid start. So you really are just a couple minor tweaks away from really throwing far. The biggest thing that you need is your brace. Your brace and your lower body needs to be a little bit more balanced. The hop isn't necessarily bad, by the way. In your X step, you're kind of going like this. That's not inherently bad, but it can be problematic later on. So I'm going to go first into footwork. I like to work from the ground up. Your shot doesn't look like you're going too fast. That's good. But your footwork, you don't ever engage your hips. You don't ever load them. You've got this little hop here, which isn't bad, like I said. But coming out of it, you're just planting your foot sideways. That means you're not getting any loading or action out of your hips. I like to consciously load my hips here and plant my last foot a little bit to the left. And that's going to really help me brace and transfer my energy into the disc, because right now you're coming into your shot and you have all this extra energy. You're taking a couple extra steps afterwards. That momentum is energy that should be transferred into the disc. So load your hips and brace into it. Take a little bit bigger last step, and rather than throwing over your front foot, throw onto your front foot. Does that make sense? Throw to your front foot, not through your front foot. It's kind of a weird thing to feel, but generally if you slow down a little bit and you take a slightly bigger last step and try and feel the brace, try and stand on your right foot when you're done. Imagine like the end of the tee pad is a cliff. When you come into that and you cannot fall forward, you'll be okay. That'll help you transfer your energy into the disc better. Also, you need to get your weight a little bit more over your toes. You want to get the coming out of your little hop, your X step there, you want to get your left heel off the ground. And what that's going to do is that's going to get your weight a little bit forward over your toes, like a shortstop. It'll get you in a more athletic position, and it's going to engage the muscle in this left leg. So as you're coming forward, you're going to push off that left leg, even without thinking about it subconsciously. You're going to be pushing off of that leg forward, and you'll get a lot more power out of your shot if you're bracing properly. Otherwise, you'll just take extra steps forward. So take a little bit bigger last step, plant it over to the left, and load your hips. So for your hop, it's not inherently bad. You can watch Steve Brenster, he throws really far with the hop. But what you're doing is you're kind of coming from leaning forward, you're hopping to leaning backwards. And that change in the angle of your spine isn't what you want. You want to keep your spine vertical. I said it before, you're leaning over your toes a little bit, so you're leaning forward, you're bent at the waist, but you don't want to be leaning backwards and then forwards, because that's just extra movement. It's harder on the spine, and it's not powerful. The spine is used as an anchor in the throw. It's not powering the shot at all. So if you keep it vertical, and the reach back is rotational, rather than sticking the disc as far back as you can, you're just rotating your shoulders and reaching it away from you. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if you keep yourself upright in this little step here, you'll be okay. But if you lean backwards, you could actually hurt yourself with your spine. But it's just it needs to stay vertical. It'll get a lot better weight transfer, a lot more power out of your shot. As far as your reach back, it doesn't look like you're rounding. Your arm isn't straightened, but it doesn't look like you're rounding. Does that make sense? So if I'm trying to throw at the edge of the window there, I'm going to reach back here, pull my chest here, and I'm going to throw it straight at the window. It's going to be straight. If I reach back over here, all of a sudden I'm rounding. And usually a bent arm means the person's kind of curling around himself like this, but it looks like you're reaching straight. So as long as the disc can come straight to your chest and straight onto the follow-through, you're okay. As far as your pull, you have the opposite of rounding, which is really hard for me to really teach because I haven't covered it that much. It's a really rare problem. So from your reach back, the disc is moving in front of your shoulders. This angle here isn't staying the same between the shoulder, and the arm and the shoulders. It needs to be 90 degrees the whole time. You're coming from your reach back and you're opening it up. The disc is moving in front of your chest in front of your upper body rather than with your upper body. So what you want to do is keep this angle the same. Keep the shoulders and the arm here at the same angle. From here up, the throw looks like this. You go from the reach back, you pull it in, and you snap it forward. All the other power comes out of your lower body. So it feels weird to do this. So from your reach back, you want to pull the disc more to the middle of your chest rather than the right side here. The middle of your chest is going to keep this angle better. So the first thing you want to do from here is pull the disc in, and then as your shoulders turn, you lead with you don't want to get your elbow in front. You sort of lead with the back of your arm and come through and the shot will, your shoulders will power the shot better. Also, your left arm is kind of up. You're kind of coming through with your left arm hanging out here like this. And this is probably what's slowing down your shoulders and getting the disc in front of you. So just like a figure skater, if you tuck it in, you're going to spin faster. So what I do is bringing your arm up in the reach back is okay. Bringing it way up here is fine. That's not necessarily a problem. But to tuck it in better, I like to bring it to the inside of this left leg. From here, I tuck it down, and that's going to really get my shoulders compressed and more in the shot. So my reach back, my left arm kind of goes back here, away from my body, but then I tuck it in when I power it. I either shove it down the side of my leg or somewhere just around this. That will compress your shoulders and help them turn. Consciously doing that will actually start the shoulder rotation when it needs to happen, rather than letting it come through sort of later and lagging behind with this arm out here. So tuck it in. Real quick, I'm going to recap. The hop isn't bad. Keep your spine vertical. Get your weight forward over your toes. Left heel off the ground. Load your hips and plant your right foot a little bit to the left. I didn't talk about reach back timing. You want to time your reach back so it peaks right as your front foot hits the ground. You're kind of going early now, and that's causing you to lean back. Keeping your spine vertical will help this. Slowing down, taking a bigger last step will also help this. Peak your reach back right when your front foot hits the ground. And lastly, get your left arm in and turn your shoulders with the throw rather than having the disc come in front of your arm. That's all I got for you, Scott. As far as discs, the Trespass is perfect for you. I love it for that 350 to like 380 shot. It's awesome. It's super controllable, super glidey. You can throw hyzers, straight shots, hand hyzers, whatever you want with that disc, and it's a really good disc. I love it. So let me know if you have any questions, and remember, slow is smooth and smooth is far.